Hey Joe, can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's been a little bit over a month now since you got back from the IL. How do you kind of feel overall with your arm and everything like that?
Feels good. I mean, strong. Um, no more of the weakness or the struggle from the bounce backs like it was before. But now it's strong and ready. Keep ready to rock.
Next question's from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Hey Joe, how'd the hat and glove check go last night? How was that?
How what?
How'd the hat and the glove check go last night after you were coming off the mound?
Went good. I passed my test, so it was one of those tests that I'm really good at passing. So it wasn't anything that I was worried about.
What do you think about the implementation of these, the enhancement of the enforcement of these rules?
I think it's great. It's one of those things that, it's like almost like I would say, if you were like, to put it in perspective, if you're an NBA player, you play, there's no home field advantage anymore. Every single basketball court's the same. NFL, all the dimensions are the same. Baseball is still behind with all the fields not being the same dimensions. The only thing that's the same is a mound. And now with everyone on the same playing field, for obviously the sticky stuff, it's kind of getting back to, like I said, it's making the game. I don't know how to put it, but it's pretty much leveling the playing field for guys who know how to use it or don't know how to use it, I think.
Thank you.
Next question's from Fabian Ardaya. Go ahead.
Hey, Joe. Did I see correctly yesterday they checked your goggles too when you came out the field?
Yeah, I gave them to them. They didn't want to check them, but I said you should check these anyways because they're sick. And they laughed. But yeah, that's not in the rule book, but I just want to make sure they check them so they can see what I was wearing.
Like, do you feel like they're thorough enough with that sort of check? And how do you feel like an umpire would be qualified to be able to figure out like what's the legal sticky stuff, what is sweat and rosin type stuff?
I can't go on what the baseline is. That's out of my pay grade. And I don't know how thorough they are. I mean, just because that was the first day. Obviously, they've done it. Thorough, not thorough, just putting out there in that universe, I think is just going to deter people anyways. And knowing that they have to take your glove or anything doesn't really matter how thorough it is, I guess. It's like a speed limit. If you're going over the speed limit, it's there and you know your chance to get a ticket with the cop. So I think it's more of actually just putting it forth and actually following up with it is more of a deterrent than, if they're really even trying to, find it if there is, some part of your body. It just makes it harder. And when you put a rule out there, it's, the user error if you get caught with it. So like I said, it doesn't have to be, a 9-10 point search, that, all the umpires get together and like, hey, this is what we're doing every single time. The room for interpretation between umpires is I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's a fact of just people actually going through with it when, taking glove, taking hat, whatever else you need to check.
Is it fair to say that you feel confident like rosin is just enough for guys to have grip throughout the league?
I can't speak for everyone else, but for myself, yeah. I've never tried different, I guess.
And I guess Mark was telling us that he feels like you're throwing the ball probably as good as you have since middle of 2019. Is that sort of like how you feel as well? Just like with where you're able to be at with your breaking ball, your changeup, fastball, everything like that?
Yeah, I'm throwing them all for, competitive pitches. Command is better. And I don't mean command by hitting my spots. I mean command just being able to throw pitches in the zone. That's what happens when you feel good physically. So, feel strong, and if I feel strong, I'm gonna be more effective than not. Usually.
Thank you.
Next question is from Kirsten Watson. Go ahead.
Hey, Joe, with what you were just saying in your command, was there anything in specific that you had to either adjust, work on to kind of help put you in that position?
Yeah, there was a lot of little things definitely involved, and it was kind of going back to basics of the way I threw the ball when coming from starting pitcher to reliever, which was when I ultimately shortened up my arm stroke and was able to be more consistent throughout my delivery to get some power. I've always been able to throw the ball at high velocity. It just has been inconsistent. If I'm throwing a fastball 10 times, the consistencies would be there where I top out at my max maybe 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 times, and now it's just more of a more consistent arm path when I shortened up. So after the surgery I kind of got a little bit longer just on accident, and it was brought to my attention by our organization, and was able to work on just getting back to the basics of throwing the ball and not even necessarily worried about so to speak, the actual pitching, rather than just being strong with my delivery and my arm stroke. And that is usually what leads to, the success and the way to be able to command the ball in the zone. I don't have the greatest, pinpoint accuracy as some guys, but that's not who I am. I just need to be able to throw all 3 pitches that look like a strike, especially coming, into the game for an inning or, 2 innings. I don't have to rely on facing a guy 3 times like a starting pitcher has to do. So shortening up the arm stroke and getting in a power position to throw the ball has definitely helped.
And how would you describe the atmosphere of last night and just kind of, I noticed the fans are very close to the bullpen here. How would you describe what it was like being on the mound yesterday?
Actually pretty tame. I mean, it wasn't anything that I haven't been a part of. There's a lot of people, but the old SoCal vibe is a little bit different down here than LA, that's for sure.
And I've been asking a few fans if they think it's a rivalry just yet. What would you say about this matchup?
It's competitive baseball, 2 great teams. It's whatever the fans think, that's who run the game. So if they want to think it, let them think it.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
We got time for one more. Go ahead, Ron.
Is this Ron Porterfield?
Rowan.
Hey, Joe. I know it's been a few years, but you've had experience in the past going from starter to reliever, and I'm just kind of curious what you remember about having to do that and how you feel like Jimmy and David are adjusting to that change.
I think each guy is different. I think they've both done very well at adjusting, and I mean, they're veterans. They know how to do that, even if they haven't had much practice at it. For myself, I think I fit the bullpen much. I mean, that's what I came up as, in college. I was a closer. I didn't start until, the Cardinals wanted to build my innings and hey, he's actually pretty decent at it. So I didn't even start until I got to pro ball. And it wasn't ultimately the plan. It just happened to go that way. But I like the bullpen to be able to come to the baseball field knowing that you have a chance to play the game. For someone who, for myself, I think I like that aspect more than knowing that, you pitch 1 day a week or you pitch 1 out every 5 days. I think, like I said, I just feel like it fits my personality and my mental game a lot stronger than it would as a starter. Just so much build up to starting. Just a lot, I'd say, different aspect of where you have to scout a little bit more. Like I said, you have to prepare to get hitters out more than 1 time. And as a reliever, you might see the same hitter maybe twice, and that's on different days. So your stuff could be different each day. But I honestly like the bullpen a lot more just because, like I said, I get to come to the field knowing that I have a chance to play. And, it's more of a position player type feel for me, honestly.